A warm good morning to everyone. And yes, I do see a lot of people from where I am standing. And what we're going to talk about is bridging the gap. What gap are we talking about? From morning, we are talking about bridging the gap. We had Principal Ma'am who spoke about bridging the gap. We had speakers who came and spoke about bridging the gap. And we had the handsome Prince who bridged the gap for all of us. We are talking about bridging this particular gap between my remote and the screen. Okay, so we are talking about the journey from your gut to your goal. What is gut and what is goal? What journey are we talking about and what bridging the gap are we talking about? When I talk about gut, it's about getting up time. Getting up time to do what? Getting up time to go ahead and give one's aspiration, dreams, desires a life. Something that you can change at the age that you're in. Really doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. Do I have the courage to stand up and say, yes, I want to live a dream. I want my aspiration to come into life. And when we talk about bridging this gap between the gut and the goal, what we are talking about is setting goals is the first step when I talk about turning the invisible into the visible. A very beautiful statement to talk about, but if you had to reflect on this statement, how many of us will believe what I am saying? Why is a goal so important? And does it really mean that if I have a goal, I will definitely achieve it? Or is that a stepping stone for a journey? Let me give you all a very quick example. I'm sure at some walk of our life, we all would have ran some race. You know, toddlers, running race, 100 meters, 200 meters, Olympic race, multiple races in our life. When you start the race, they always say the start is very important. Take a lead and you can go ahead and jump and reach your goal and your destination. What we are talking about is exactly that. But do we realize what happens during the race? We tend to run, we tend to lose momentum, we might catch the momentum again. But we never lose the momentum when we see the finish line. When I can see the finish line, when I can see the flag, one last leap, I put my best foot forward. We are talking about goals exactly in the same manner. If you have a goal, it becomes that invisible distance coming into visibility. You would be able to see it very easily. We are talking about setting these goals. 5 important Ds, mantras that you can take along with you if you want these goals to actually come into reality. The first D we are talking about is nothing else but direction. Whenever you set a goal, it is very important to understand in which direction am I moving. Am I moving towards the direction of my goal? What pathway am I taking? How am I going to move in the way I'm going to reach the destination I want to reach? The second D we are talking about is dedication. How dedicated am I towards my goal? What drives me to reach my goal? Third D is determination. How determined am I to reach this goal? Why is it that I want to reach this goal? And the fourth D is nothing else but discipline. If you are disciplined, things do tend to happen in the manner you desire it to happen. Last but not the least is deadlines. Can I go ahead and give a timeline to a frame? Every goal without a timeline is just like something which is flying in the air, doesn't know when it will land, even if it will land or no. We have no idea about it. And that's exactly what we are talking about. Can I have these 5 Ds in its place? Because when I have these 5 Ds in its place, what I'm also going to move ahead and do is make sure that my goals are determined in a manner. I'm sure the technical definition of the goal is something that we all have heard of. You need to have SMART goals. We all learn all our life. Your goals need to be really smart, very specific, measurable. You need to be achievable, realistic, and time-bound. We all have heard that all our life. But that doesn't guarantee you achieving the goal. What guarantees you achieving the goal is your emotional connect with that goal. You need to set hard goals. H is heartfelt. Do you have that burning desire to achieve that goal? Because only when you have a burning desire, you really want to do it, will you go that extra mile. How many of us want to travel abroad once in our life just to see what lifestyle is there? You have a flight at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Normally, my relationship with my bed doesn't break till 11:30, 12 on a Sunday. But on that day, because I don't want to miss my flight, somehow that burning desire gets me out of bed, or probably doesn't even let me sleep. We talk about having your goals which are animated. So let me ask you all one thing. Do a quick activity with me. I want you all to take exactly 10 to 15 seconds. Please close your eyes and think of a cat. Please close your eyes and think of a cat. Thank you. What did you see? A 4-legged creature? Probably cat eyes, different colors, some furry creature or stuff like this. But the framework and the skeleton was identical for everyone. I'm sure nobody saw the words C-A-T, cat. We all saw the pictorial image of a cat. If your goal can be animated, if you can see it happen, it will come into reality. I will prove it to you once again. So let's look at this. Cat, we all could think of. Okay, take another 30 seconds, close your eyes, and think of an alien. Thank you. What came to your mind? Probably some version of Avatar, Jadoo. Anything else? I'm sure some of you would have said, Madam, Karuna bhi dikha mere ko. Possible, right? Because we don't know what an alien looks like, and each one has their own version of it. And hence, we don't even know if it exists. Animating your goal is giving it life. Can you imagine yourself on a TEDx stage, getting a standing ovation, having people clap for you, tell you that you were very impactful, Anjana, fantastic job done. If you can see yourself do it, it will happen. Animation is the only reality because you can only see what exists. We talk about required. When we set up goals, one of the key things that I always say is it even required? Why are you setting up a goal? I want to score 90%, I want to join computer science, I want to do this. Why? बाजू वाले के बच्चे ने भी किया, आइला. Why do you want to do it? My mother told me. Is it even required for you to do it? Is there a desire for you to do it? Because if you do something which is not required, when you reach your mid-age crisis, I do executive coaching for so many senior people who come back to me at the age of 45, 50 and say, "Kamaya bahut maja nahi aa raha hai." I said, "Kamane ke baad maja kaise aayega?" Ask people who haven't earned. The point is, if it is required, if it makes you happy internally, if there is a desire to do it, trust me, that smile on your face will never go. Difficult. I want to lose weight, but अपन पिज्जा पे compromise नहीं कर सकता. I want to lose weight, can't get up in the morning. How will you achieve anything if you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone? If you want to think differently, if you want to do things differently, if you want to achieve your goal, it becomes very important that you set not only smart goals, but hard goals. Figure out, do you have a burning desire to achieve them? The next important thing that we are talking about is, how do I achieve my goals? 8 simple steps for you to do it. Step number 1, write down your goal. Why is it so important to write it down? Anjana, a solid memory I have. I don't forget. I'm sure each one of us has a beautiful memory. But think about it. When you were kids, first time you flew in an aircraft, you saw the air hostess. I want to become air hostess. So pretty she looks. Correct? When you're walking out the aircraft, you saw the pilot, so many buttons. मैं pilot बनेगी. Very nice. Correct? When you go to the doctor, when you're falling sick and he puts his stethoscope and he tells you, breathe. कितना मजा आता है इसको, मैं भी ऐसा करेगी. Correct? Because it is so normal for us to dream and desire everything that we see, because it's very normal to get attracted towards it. How many of us standing here feel, एक दिन ना अपन भी स्टेज पे जाकर ऐसा ही कॉमेडी बात करेगा? Why not? Why not? But you can do it if you write it down. And do you know why writing becomes so important? Because a human brain registers what you have written as a commitment you give to yourself. Write down what you want to achieve in your life and see it come into reality, because everything written, your brain feels, if I miss it, I will get punished. We talk about setting deadlines to achieve the goal. Have a finish line defined. I'm not going to deep dive more into that because I already spoke about it. But if you have a deadline, it tells you at what pace you need to perform, at what speed you need to go ahead. Breaking down your goal into smaller chunks, giving milestones to it, gives you that clarity. We talk about list the obstacles to overcome. Moment you list down everything, that this is what is going to come in my way for achieving the goal, I am preparing myself, because every time you say this, ये problem हो सकता है, a human brain automatically comes up with an alternative. Every time it comes up with an alternative to find a way out. We talk about identify people and groups who will help you achieve this goal. Why it's so important? When you have 2 people pushing each other, nudging each other, it becomes a collaborative effort. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, I partner with my mom, and I tell her, Mama, you are my partner, you're going to push me to achieve this goal. I get up in the morning at 3:30 and I start studying for my exams. It's already 11:30, 12 in the night, and my mom comes and tells me, Beta, सुबह से पढ़ रहे हो, अभी बस करो. I'm like, Mama, एक chapter बाकी. एक ही बाकी है ना, कल करना. How sweet, I love you, Mom. Because that's exactly what we wanted to hear, right? But imagine, instead of that, I had somebody whose goal is my goal and my goal is that person's goal. I call up this person, say for example Shashwati. I call up Shashwati and I say, Shashwati, partnering with me. She says, great. 11 o'clock in the night, I get a call from Shashwati and she asks me, Anjana, literature complete? Shashwati, 3 pages left. Sona mat. 3 ही पेज है, आधा घंटा stretch कर हो जाएगा. That's what we are talking about, partnering with somebody who can push you and nudge you to achieve your goal. We are talking about list the skills and knowledge required. History, काय को है subject मेरे को आज तक समझ में नहीं आया. Yeah, but I know Siddharth will kill me for saying this. But yeah, not a subject of my interest, but yet I have to appear for the exam. How do I study that subject which I'm not interested in? Maths was born to destroy me. can I survive without that? 10वीं में तो pass ही नहीं होएगी maths नहीं आता तो. What do I do? Can I learn Vedic maths? Can I learn tricks and tools of doing maths? Can I create a mind map in history that makes the subject easier for me to understand? Can I acquire a knowledge that helps me achieve my goal? We talk about develop a plan of action. Siddharth very rightly said in his last slide, action is more important. But action is only possible when you know what to do. If you didn't know what to do, how would you take an action? Design your action plan. What's in it for me? What am I going to get if I achieve this goal? Happiness? वो तो सबको मिलता है. बाजू वाले का goal achieve होता तो भी मैं खुश है. But how do I go ahead and achieve? What's in it for me? What am I going to get? And what is very important is the purpose. Why is it that I'm determined to achieve this? While we talk about these as steps for setting goal, what is also very important is thank you, is the thoughts and action. How do I put my thoughts into action? What could be the possible questions I could get answers to? If I can answer these questions, what are my priorities? What are the things that I could do to achieve my goal? What action steps do I need to take? How do I go about it? When I have answers to these questions, probably even bigger questions, goal becomes a piece of cake. And every second day, I could be achieving a goal and moving ahead. We talk about converting our thoughts into actions, and make sure you're not confused between these two. There is a very thin line of difference between motion and progress. The biggest difference between these two is when we talk about motion, I do 5 sums in 1 hour. Tomorrow I did 10 sums in 2 hours. That is motion. I do 5 sums in 1 hour. Next day I do 10 sums in that same 1 hour. That is progress. Am I progressing in life, or am I just moving ahead in life? What am I actually doing is very important for us to understand this before we move ahead. We are talking about going ahead, achieving our goals in a manner that takes us to the next level. For that, what is very important is, first, love yourself. You need to learn to fly. Yes, first, love yourself. Only if you love yourself will you do something for the one you love. And if you don't love yourself, it really doesn't matter what you do. Also, what is very important is, am I thinking positively? How do I move my can't into a can? A can't can be moved very easily into a can when I go ahead and I change the definition of 3 very simple words. The first word is a negative word that we all work with. It's called fail. How often do we say, fail ho gaya? First attempt in learning. Suddenly the failure becomes, koi baat nahi yaar, ek aur try karte hain. We heard Principal Ma'am talk in the morning. The CA girl who appeared for the CA house help couldn't achieve it. Fail was first attempt in learning. We talk about end. Jindagi khatam. Kyun bhai? Hai to jiyo? But end, if we define it as efforts never die. Doesn't matter what you learn, which walk of life you learn these, but it works very well for you. And last is next opportunity. What is it that I have in stock for you? Can I challenge myself to move ahead and achieve a next opportunity? A falcon, a bird, never shies away from flying. Because he doesn't believe in the branch he's sitting in. He believes in his wings. When each one of you is flying high to achieve your goal, believe you have it in you, not the thing that is holding you back to achieve your goal. Thank you so much.